was a 4-point game with about 4 minutes left in the third. What did you see as the reasons that they were able to gain separation to close out the third and enter in the fourth?
Turnovers and fouls. I think we turned it over. They went on an easy run, got a couple baskets, so that pushed the lead up, and then we fouled when we didn't have to. That was a lot of the game right there.
How did Wendell Carter impact the game tonight, coming off the bench as he continues to, work back?
I mean,
from your perspective,
I thought he did a very good job. I think he did a good job moving the basketball, finding his spots on the floor. Did a good job in the pocket. They hit him with the roll, made some tough shots, rebounding the basketball. I think he did a very good job impacting the game.
Was it just challenging, attempting to slow down Joel Embiid tonight?
He's the MVP for a reason. I mean, you can have every game plan, you can have every scheme, but, he's getting to that area and you put a hand on him, it turns into a foul. If you don't put a hand on him, he's making that 15, 17-footer that he's shooting at a 60% clip. But again, you got to give them credit for how they came out. They knocked shots down. Maxey got going a little bit as well. So I think those are the things you have to continue to look at. We'll go back and look at the film and see where we can continue to improve.
And Coach, you mentioned turnovers being a problem. You guys had 16 turnovers, which resulted in 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the turnovers were from miscommunication, sometimes like lazy passes. What's your message to the team on how to eliminate those?
On time, on target passes. Recognize where you're going on the floor. Don't jump in the air to make a pass. It's all the fundamentals of the game. And a lot of times it comes down to a little bit of spacing. I think our guys are getting in the gaps, but we don't have to force it. Sometimes the right play is just hit the open man when he's open.
10 minutes last game, just under 13 tonight for Jonathan Isaac. His impact is obviously felt when he is out there on the court. You really feel those minutes and the presence that he brings. But I know you're trying to distribute minutes out to everybody, but is there an opportunity where we can possibly see Jonathan out there, getting more minutes in his rotation?
Well, the interesting part about that, and that's a very good question, it's working his way back. This is a young man that's working his way back into playing, full go, and that's what we have to continue to be smart with, how they respond back to games being played and him being out for a while. We want to be smart about that, and as we'll continue to ramp it up slowly, but being smart about how we go about doing it.
Just quickly about Jonathan as well, too. It looked like late in the third quarter, you were able to kind of get him on Embiid. He was able to rattle him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did you kind of like that matchup compared to, Wendell and Goga? Really?
Well, I think, Wendell had 4, Goga had 4, and Jonathan does impact the game at such a high level defensively. So, yes, I'm not afraid to put him on anybody to where he can sit down and guard.
Obviously, the team had the really hot start to the season. Injuries have obviously kind of slowed the pace down. But how do you kind of fight frustration from maybe not being able to scratch out wins and kind of build that and knowing that maybe some full health is coming? But how do you fight some of that maybe perhaps frustration that maybe they were feeling out there tonight?
You address it. You talk about it, what's going on in the game. They see it. You watch it on film. You understand the different situations where you can be better, but you don't hide from it. You say, this is what it is. This is what we're going through. This is the portion of where we can continue to get better and how we can improve. And then you got to give Philly a ton of credit for how they came out and played. They're top 5 defense, top 5 offense for a reason. They have the MVP over there, so you give them a ton of credit. But it's part of our growth to continue to understand how we can improve.
In late in the third quarter, and then he played all of the fourth. Was that part of the plan or just more of the flow of the game, and what did you make of his minutes?
I thought he came out aggressive. I thought he did a good job trying to defend the right way, got into the basketball, a couple deflections here and there, pushed the break, found some easy passes, knocked down that corner 3. But I just think his ability to just keep playing the right way, defending, getting into the basketball, the things that we've asked him to do.
Jamahl, I wanted to ask you about Markelle, how he's doing, how he's building his way back. You can see some of the old Markelle magic causing chaos on the inside with his passes and distribution. How is he looking as to working his way back into the full flow?
Well, as you see it, and that's the part about these guys all coming back from injury at different times. You're trying to make sure you maneuver it the right way so you don't press their minutes too high, but it's trying to realize how they can respond to it. And it's going to be a process of us feeling that out, the different lineups, the different guys that we'll put out there, just so they can feel and understand how they're playing with different lineups and rotations.
Coach, tonight, this makes 5 losses out of the last 6 games. A lot of close losses in that stretch as well, one of those being Miami. Now you got Miami coming here on Sunday. Do you look at that as an opportunity, as like a Florida Sunshine State rivalry as like a way to really, kind of nip this in the bud and get back on track?
I think every game's another opportunity. That's the great part about the NBA. You can, hurt for the one that you lose, but then you got another opportunity to, change it on Sunday.
And Coach, only 3 of our players were in double figures. Do you feel like maybe some players from the second unit are afraid to be aggressive, or do you feel like there's a lot of bad shot selections? Why do you feel like maybe there's a lack of scoring? Sometimes they kind of drive in, kick it out, instead of just driving and attacking. Why do you feel like that happens a lot?
You have to give Philly a ton of credit. They did a heck of a job defensively. They packed the paint in. Guys were stepping into their shots, and they didn't fall for the most part. But again, I thought we got downhill. I thought we got a lot of the things that we did want. But you have to give this team, Philly, credit for the way in which they played.
You mentioned earlier about kind of bringing guys back from injury and kind of melding the lineups and bringing everyone back in. What's the process of evaluating when to make rotation changes, when to make kind of those lineup changes, and when a player is ready to maybe take on more or the role that they maybe had before they were injured?
Well, that's the thing about it. Games are coming so fast. You have to look at the different sample sizes. So you're going to get some of the in-game feel, the in-game adjustments. So different guys will get different minutes of time. Just being able to feel and see the right combinations, and with little practice time with the back-to-back coming up, you're going to have to look at that real time within the games.
Without getting you fined, what did you make of the officiating tonight? And is it challenging to keep your composure at times, regardless of the game?
Yes.